Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I gave a title to this today, and the worst part was not him putting a gun to my head, believe it or not. Um, I remember that day very clearly. There's a lot of things that happened in this relationship and my decision to get a divorce that were like knives being stuck in my heart. um, Times that I just wanted to die. But believe it or not, it was not when he held a gun on me. At that very moment, I felt so in control, even in control of him, believe it or not. And as he calmed down and I went to the store with the kids, we went walking, I called the police and had him arrested, which gave me enough time to pack my clothes and leave. The pain came in when I chose to go to a homeless shelter and not tell my family. I didn't want my family to know what was going on. And that even hurts me right now as I speak about it, because I chose for me and my two daughters to be homeless instead of tell my family what was really going on, to tell my friends what was really going on. That's painful even now as I speak. And being in that homeless shelter. And you know what, guys? I think I didn't tell anyone because I still was hoping, praying that he would get his act together and that we would be able to go on with our lives, right? And no one would ever have to know what happened. And we did get back together after about 7 months, after I had gotten a 6-month lease of my own apartment. I lived at the homeless shelter for a little over 30 days so that I can kind of get my finances halfway in order. And I did go back after about 7 months. And I remember the day I walked in and I thought, he'll never hit me again. But the relationship is over because I realized that it was not just physical abuse. It was emotional. It was verbal, him calling me stupid. And I would say in my head, I have a master's degree in clinical psychology. I'm not stupid, but I was stupid because I was still there. And so, when that decision came and I had to file for a divorce, I think the most painful thing I had to go through was I didn't have the money to pay for a divorce. So I went through the domestic violence attorneys and only had to pay like a couple of $100s for my divorce. But I remember the intake lady asking me a ton of questions and I just cried. I just cried because for the first time I heard how bad it was. I had been playing tricks in my mind. I had been deceiving myself. I had been delusional in believing that things were not so bad. Yeah, he would hit me. Yeah, he would throw me across the room. But it only happened every 6, 9, 12 months. It wasn't that bad. He never punched me. He never gave me a black eye. I remember thinking that. And so when I heard the words coming out my mouth of all the things he had done to me for years, I just cried. And that was painful, so painful. And I remember making the decision. He let me have the house for me and the girls. And I remember that was not where I wanted to be anymore. And that was a little painful because I had to take my girls away from their home. I had to take them out of their schools. And I had to move us to another apartment at that point. We had been staying in a house where the girls had their own room and in a backyard and all those things, right? And we moved into a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, staying upstairs. and money was extremely tight, and I couldn't even afford to take my kids and buy a Happy Meal. My daughters and I laugh to this day because I would buy them a hamburger from McDonald's, and I would have chips at home and soda at home because it was cheaper. And we made a little game out of it and we had fun with it. But the next most painful thing came when I had to tell my family the truth. And I had to tell my friends the truth about what was really occurring in my relationship. And that was hard. But guys, I don't want to just focus on the pain that I felt. I want to tell you how I overcame it. We went through the 9 ways to cope with divorce, right? And for me, the thing that helped me the most was talking to someone, right? I talked to my family. I spoke to my friends. The first lady was that intake lady. That was so instrumental in me healing, to just get it, all the garbage out, and to stop living in a fantasy world, to stop being delusional. I mean, I just was. I was holding on to this hope to go to the support group for through the church, through for women or people going through divorce, to have my children go through that, and then to have my own individual therapy and to be very open and honest. Yes, I had to go through therapy before I became a therapist, but this was different because I was completely honest for the first time about what I was experiencing. And so talking to someone was very good for me. Bring them on camera. Oh, okay. It says that Janice is watching. Okay, I'm trying to read. I can't read with my glasses on. I mean, my glasses off too much from this distance. So anyway, I just wanted you guys to know that there are various ways that you can cope with divorce. But first, you have to admit all of the pain that you have felt. Every single thing. And maybe you're not ready to admit it to a person, but I would recommend that you just sit down by yourself in your quiet time and write down all of that pain. And maybe your divorce occurred a year ago, years ago, but maybe you're still having some pain about that. Write all those things down on a sheet of paper and kind of get it out a little bit and see it outside of you. And then maybe share it with somebody, someone that you trust, maybe an objective friend, so that maybe you can cope with this a lot better, okay? And then you can truly heal. Alrighty. Thank you, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye-bye.